Waffles.
Everything back when I was younger, which is weird because I'm not that old. I'm turning 18 soon. But there was like such a drastic shift in like the past like 6 or so years. And I think that's just because things are more widespread. It's less of like you're in a secret club. Yeah, have you heard about this on the internet? Now everybody's heard about it. And there's just more eyes on like everything these days. But I don't want to be one of those nostalgia pandering people who's just like, oh, back when I was younger, things used to be so much better. Everything sucks now, because I think things are fine the way that they are right now. Obviously not in, like, the political landscape, but that's neither here or there. I don't want to talk about that, really. And I'm not intelligent enough to talk about that sort of stuff in a educated manner. And, you know, I don't like to introduce those sorts of topics in my videos, because I usually like to keep a very fun, positive personality. Oh, thanks, Boomer Kawanger. And you're not here to hear me talk about things that I believe in. I really don't think you guys care. And if you do care, care for someone else. I'm really going about the stage order this time around, not in really my comfort zone. I usually go after Storm Eagle right after I take out Chill Penguin. But not this time. Mainly because I'm kind of paying attention. Mainly because I'm not paying attention. Can't see? I'm not even paying attention to the stuff I'm saying. You know, I used to talk quite differently back when I was younger. And obviously I don't have recordings of all that I said. But even looking back at my old plush videos, there was such like a... There was such a very... There was like a weird childlike eloquency to the way I talked back then. It was weird. And even my parents frequently tell me that, you know, I was very mature for my young age in terms of the way that I talked. You know, I think by the age of 2, I was stringing together like full sentences with like words like trepidations. Like my parents constantly bring up how I used to say the word trepidations and like use it correctly in sentences. And honestly, I don't even know where I picked up some of that stuff when I was younger. It wasn't on the internet, that's for sure. Because, I mean, I don't think I was introduced to the internet until I was like 4. Oh, and I just remembered this boss is gonna suck. I don't have Storm Eagle's weapon. I'm not sure what works the best on this boss. Well, maybe the flame weapon does pretty good on this boss. That was pretty quick. I'm having a lot of fun with this. And you know what? Because I'm having a lot of fun with this, I might even just continue this just because. Because I like to have fun. And I like to talk. I like hearing the sound of my own voice. And I like having, you know, a cozy kind of place where I could just relax and disappear into the fine confines of something as minute and as unsubstantial as a video game. And oh boy, here comes Spark Mandrill, the easiest boss in video game history. So here's what you do with this one. You got the shotgun ice weapon from Chill Penguin. You just hit him. And you just keep on doing that. Don't do that. That's a bad example, but you should just repeat you should just repeat what I was doing. Oh, Spark Mandrill, how I love you. I don't even know, really, what a mandrill is. I think I saw a mandrill one time at a zoo. I liked to go into the zoo when I was younger, especially the San Diego Zoo. And I went back to the San Diego Zoo fairly recently, and I remember it being so much bigger than it actually is. I mean, it still is a pretty big zoo, But, you know, not as big as I thought it was. I guess it's because, like, when you're a kid, things are a lot bigger to you. Like, you ever go to a Walmart and you're playing one of those, like, game demo kiosks, and there's, like, a big screen at the top where you could watch, you know, whatever you were playing, or whatever? And you just had to look up with your neck, like, snapping off from its back. Yeah. It's that kind of... That felt so much worse, because I don't think they made those kinds of things for children. And you know what? I'm not going to mess up and pick Storm Eagle this time. So there you go. Speaking of places like Walmart and those nostalgic little bit of little feelings you had when you were a kid, you know, just doing kind of minute little things like that with where you're straining your neck trying to look up at a TV screen. Skylanders were a massive part of my childhood, and I stuck with Skylanders for such a long time. I'm not sure how many Skylanders videos there are on my channel. I don't even think there's any. But I want to say I stopped really obsessing over Skylanders by the time I turned 12. And I think that's primarily when my interest of retro games started kicking in. So I kind of left behind Skylanders, but, you know, the memories of that particular time in my life where I was just obsessed over Skylanders, I hold them very, very nice and dear to me. Because those games, opinions aside, of, you know, like, the scumminess of the business... Wow, that was a stupid death. Besides what you think about the scummy business model of the whole thing, it was very good to have a nice little kids game for kids to grow up with. And I just got a game over there because I saw my lives were at 0. I'd rather just refill them to 2 lives. But I loved just going to, like, Toys R Us and all the toy stores, seeing the Skylanders aisle. I didn't even have to buy anything. Just being there in the aisle was, like, real special to me. And I had so much fun just staring at the lines of shelves of all these Skylanders, thinking maybe one day I'll be able to go back there and pick out a new one to add to my collection. Just really happy times, real happy memories. And I don't like how a lot of YouTube channels these days are trying to profit off of those nostalgic little memories. I think it's important to recognize, you know, some of the good parts of the past, but I don't think it's that great to profitize off of them. That's why I kind of grew numb to Stranger Things. Like, I mean, obviously I wasn't born in the 80s, but it felt a little bit forced, to put it very lightly. I wonder if there'll be, like, a Stranger Things-esque show, but for, like, the 90s, and so on and so forth for all the other decades. Because I'm trying to think, what could possibly be done for, like, a 2010s-esque Stranger Things show? I don't know. That's a real weird thought that I just had. Maybe someone in the comments could maybe conceptualize an idea for it. I'm sure it'd be stupid, but you know what? That's fine. No one's looking. Be stupid. One thing I've wanted to get better at doing, just in life, is being a little bit less negative. Because a lot of people, you know, they bring up to me that, you know, I'm kind of negative about the things that I talk about. And and I like to put on, you know, a positive face on YouTube, but, you know, oftentimes in person, I could get a little bit out of hand sometimes with my opinions on the things that you know, I like or dislike. And, you know, yeah, I could come off as, like, nagging and annoying. But, I don't like to be that way. Really. Maybe it's because my friends, kind of rile me up sometimes. You know, they actively, say something to, you know, trigger, like, some weird synapse in my brain that, causes me to, like, go ballistic. Well, not ballistic, that makes me sound like I'm, like, mentally ill. But, you know, when someone brings up, like, Sonic the Hedgehog, I usually have, like, a big real-life video essay to talk about why I dislike Sonic. And I kind of turned that into my own video, which, you guys didn't like, so you know what? I'm not going to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog anymore. You guys don't like it? That's fine. I'll keep it to myself this time. But some of the things that I badmouth are usually things that I like quite a lot. Like, I'd badmouth Danganronpa all the time. Like, amongst my friends. But, like, this is gonna be hard for me to, like, truly admit. I like it. I like it to some extent. I know I hate it for its, like, awful writing, its awful characters sometimes, it's really stupid humor, but there are a lot of aspects that I do like about it. I like its art style most of the time, I like the music, I like the gameplay. I think it's far more entertaining as a game than something like Ace Attorney is, which I'm not sure if people compare those two series a lot, but, you know, case-styled gameplay, I guess you would say, is sort of a constant thing. But Danganronpa always goes nuts with how weird it is sometimes. Sometimes a little bit too weird, I must admit. It gets a little bit confusing to someone who never played it before. But I am just... I'm weird. I'm weird with the things that I like. Actually, no. I wouldn't say that I'm negative nor positive about a lot of the things that I like. I would say that I'm passionate. I'm passionate about the things that I like, and I just screwed that thing up. I have a passion for the things that I like, and I have a passion for the things that I dislike, and I like to show that passion whenever I can. May come off as a little bit obnoxious, but hey, that's just the way that I am. I am going to be a little bit less negative, though. I am going to change that about me. Negativity is one of the things in your life that you could absolutely change. Like, it's not like being good with kids. Like, you could be you could choose to be negative, and you could choose not to be negative. You can't choose to be good with kids. That is either a skill that you have, or you don't. Negativity's not a skill, that's just a crappy emotion that you have that gets bottled up most of the time. And I'm not saying just don't show any negativity at all, just like, I don't know. Try to show it in a way that's healthy, and not, like, crazy. Because I feel like, especially these days, lots of people go out of their way to be negative just to get a rise out of people. And I know that that was, you know, a big thing back then, but, you know. Just don't be a dick. It's really... It's probably the first rule of life. Come out of the womb... That's what the doctors tell you. They drag you out into the hole, they put you in a little plastic bucket, and they're like, don't be a dick. Alright? Might be hard sometimes. But you know what? Maybe there's a place to be a dick, but don't be a dick all the time.